through town a couple days a week that has service. So I'm always like, when's the best time to do a little chiz at real quick? Because, yeah, having, the schedule of a young man. I'm so damn busy at home. I just can't. I lie a little bit. I got a little bit of get a little me time in there too. But between my schedule and the freaking maybe hour or so I get of me time, reset for the next day. There's not a lot of time for chat, so I try to squeeze them in when I'm on these, like I've done for how many years? Since 2011. So 1 minus, it's almost 6, right? It's almost 15 years of doing these chats. So hopefully I'm afforded a whole bunch more years, and all grace and glory to Jesus Christ, man. To God up above for these troubling times, I guess, for sure. My mind is crazy. I just see so much crazy stuff. I see like the fall of our country. I just see so much crazy stuff. And yeah, there's I would say, people think the PSYOP is, hitting us from all angles, and us having to navigate that and figure out what it is and discern what is what. Some people would say that's the PSYOP, right? To break the country. I think it's a broken country, but what about, it seems like maybe the other half of the PSYOP, or maybe the real PSYOP, if we're even using these words anymore. That might be outdated. You guys might be calling it something else nowadays. But what about the other side, where like you're paying attention to what's going on, and like the no reaction because you know what's going on, because you know the truth, but there's still no reaction. So places like Minnesota and Michigan are completely gone. Those places will never recover from what has been started up there. Supposedly, and this is what I'm going to argue, and I only got about 3-4 minutes before I probably lose signal, but these Muslim populations are exploded, where they've put all these immigrants, these refugees, these invaders, all that kind of good stuff. And they've allowed these fools to get a foothold. They control the politics, they control the police, they control everything. And so they got some of that coming to Texas. I guess Texas is trying to beat everybody else out in the country of fastest track to being Muslim. And so like the PSYOP would be, or whatever people would say, is like, well, the Jews are pitting the Americans against the Muslims, or whatever other outside force somebody would blame for arguing with people that are clearly incompatible. So like the idea is to brush it off. I seen it last night, that I think it's Jake Lang or whatever, he's up there marching, trying to burn a Quran, being very provocative. Those Muslim dudes, if the cops weren't there, they would have beat them to death, And it's just, it's pretty crazy that is going on. But I guess the PSYOP recognizers, or whatever, this form of argument I'm trying to make here, would say, well, somebody else is pitting these two forces. We need to chill. We need to unite. I don't know. Something like kumbaya, instead of being alarmed about what's happening. So places like Michigan, Minnesota are completely lost. You have parts of New England that are completely lost, completely gone. California, completely gone. Now I'm finding out Charlotte, is that going to be the whole state, or is that going to be just Charlotte? Charlotte is so far gone, so full of illegals. It's insane. My mind is blown about how many illegals there are. What up, Stefan? How many illegals there are in Charlotte. I mean, it's like decimated like half the population. Half the population, maybe more, in Charlotte was illegal aliens. And they're extremely violent and, facing off with law enforcement. And so I wanted to point out another thing real quick before I probably lose everybody, is Lavoy Finicum was for trying to like drive away from the feds. He was like ambushed and he was shot. And, these ICE protesters, they're like ramming the federal agents with their cars. They're impeding traffic. They're shooting at them. They're trying to pull people off. They're doing all types of craziness. And I guess people would say that's the restraint of these officers. I just, to me, it just points out the fact that if you actually love this country and you were fighting for this country and what this country was actually about, you'll be gunned down. But if you're fighting to destroy this country, man, your leash will be like forever long. And so watch the videos. It's terrible. It's every video, whether it's in Portland, Minnesota's been pretty rough, Charlotte now, New York, it doesn't seem like it's really that big of a deal. And did I say Chicago already? LA's been whatevers, but some of these places have been extremely violent. Law enforcement hasn't done anything, just, maybe throwing some people around and shooting tear gas and pepper balls and stuff. But to me, if it was on the other shoe, like if it was patriots protesting for whatever reason, and especially if they were doing the acts that these people are on the ICE agents, they would for sure, the federal agents would have shot Americans by now. But because they're leftists, because they're terrorists, they're allowed to do whatever. I'm going to lose everybody here in just a second. And who would have thought that, after 2001, after what happened, and that kind of maybe proves that the whole thing's a big lie. But who would have thought after 2001 that we'd ever be, they bragged about how many Muslim politicians were elected this last go around, all over New Jersey, New York, Minnesota, Michigan, I think Washington's going full commie. Washington is a full failed state. Colorado is a full failed state. These states are just coming off the board. And so I don't know, man. Communism cannot be allowed to get a foothold in the South. There's got to be some fracture at some point of what's going on. All the people that want to live regular and civil against all the people that want open borders, crime, mutilating kids, all that crazy stuff, man. It's like we can't live with those. I don't live around those people. I can't live with those people. So, I see a lot of white liberals in Charlotte claiming that the South, North Carolina is a different type of southern state. Basically, that they're in alignment with the Northeast, it sounds like. That's what it sounds like, because Virginia's long gone, too. I thought Virginia was long gone and that's a sad one. I lived in Virginia for a bunch of years. That's horrible. Virginia is a beautiful place. North Carolina is a beautiful place, but the line has to be drawn somewhere. North Carolina has to be the line that's drawn right there, and everything down is free, civilized people. I don't know, but this country is toast. It is toast. Mark my words. It's not even, hey, wait and let's find out. It's toast. Right now, as I'm speaking, this country is toast. The country's over. USA, Operation USA, whatever it was, is over. It's over. The Constitution is null and void. Before I lose everybody, the government, or the whole of government's full of pedophiles. All of them are pedophiles. That being pedophiles is okay. They're going to cover for each other. They can argue all they want. It's all circus. It's all circus and theater. If I'm wrong, put in the comments how I'm wrong. Have a good argument instead of just saying some